right, so boys and girls, today let's take a look up at our math target. Madeline did read it out loud for us. I can add and subtract fractions. Ooh, what did I miss? Fractions with unlike denominators. What do I mean when I say unlike denominators? Who can give me an example of two fractions that have unlike denominators? What do you think they're? Give me one fraction that you're thinking of. 2/4. Can somebody give me another fraction with an unlike denominator, Tristana? 5/10. Where are my denominators here? What numbers are they? 4 and 10. Are they alike?
No.
No, so can we add them together yet? No, we need to find the common denominator so that we can get our unlike denominators to be like. Now, really quick review, okay? So Myron, if I have 4 and 10, how do I find the common denominator? What do I have to find?
By skip count.
By skip counting or by finding the multiples. Good. The least common multiple. So how would I do this? Ready? 4,
8, 12, 16, 20. Stop there.
Maybe stop here? I
Yeah.
heard it in the crowd? Okay. Because 20 is a multiple of what?
10.
Okay, so 10, 20. All right, what's my common denominator? 20. Okay, so yesterday we worked on comparing these fractions, right? So if I were to change these from 2/4, what is going to be my new denominator here? 20. And if I change this, the tenths, what is my new denominator going to be? 20ths. How do I get from 4 to 20? Times 5. Good, guys. And then times 5. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Or I heard some folks say what I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. Excellent. All right, how do I get from 10 to 20 here? 2. And you can cheat over here, right? 1, 2. Okay, what I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. What do I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So what would these be?
Equal.
Okay. Instead of comparing them today, we're going to actually start adding and subtracting these. All right, let's take a look up at our board up here. We need to fill in a couple blanks. We have a few steps that we want to focus on for today that'll help guide us as we go. Okay? Can everybody see the board okay? We have a copy right in front of us too. All right, so when we add and subtract fractions, I just showed you the first step. What do I have to find?
The common denominator.
The common denominator. So go ahead and for number 1, write common denominator. Oh, it's not working today. Let's see. You know what, you guys? I'll just open up right now for whatever reason. I am not able to write on this. Let's see. Activate markers sounds like it would work. Trish, you mind just clicking on activate markers? Where's up here?
Where? Oh, right there.
Just to the right, one more. Does that say?
Oh, wait, notes?
Oh, yes. Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. Ready? So I see it's here. Wrote it down. Common denominator. Okay, does everybody have that down? So first step, we need to find the common denominator. And while we write that, I'm going to quickly just orient the board here, okay guys? Just so I don't write sideways. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. All right, so find the common denominator. What I have to do next is I need to convert, or another word for convert is change. I need to change my fractions to have the same one. Yeah, to have the same denominator. So go ahead and write that in. Oh, much better. Ooh, it's a little funky on the end there, but you get the gist here. So we want to get the same denominator. Now today, this is our new step here. We're going to add or subtract just the top number. What do I call that top number?
The numerator.
The numerator. Good. So I'm going to add or subtract the numerator. Think everybody got that written down? And then I am going to keep the denominator. So you guys are, I think this is going to be a good section here. We're kind of on top of it. So keep the denominator. All right, I'll give everybody a moment to write that down. Well, your zern should kind of start matching up with what we're doing, right? Excellent. Okay, and if it's not, you'll eventually get there in zern. So Caleb was saying that in his group work, he's been kind of working on adding and subtracting fractions. Some of us are getting there. Okay. All right, does everybody have this written down? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you have this. Keep writing if you are still writing. All right, thank you. I got one more. So just wait a moment. So boys and girls, it's kind of like the steps that we did yesterday. Finding the common denominator, we're just doing one different step for today. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you what to do right now. So can I have all pencils down right now? Okay. There we go. Do you have number 4 down? Okay, if you have these down, put your pencils down and look up at me. Thank you. I love your focus. Okay. Good job. All right. Love your focus. Great job. All right, what we're going to do, I'm going to go through a couple of word problems. We see a lot of word problems, right? Okay. We're going to go through some word problems with adding and subtracting fractions. Now, we need to make sure that we're picking out that important information. Should I read this word problem one time?
No.
No. I should read it at least once, right? 2, 3, maybe 4 times to get an understanding of. These type of problems, is this the last time we're going to see an adding or subtracting problem?
No.
No. So we want to talk about that so that we have those skills for next year. What I'm going to do, if you notice on your paper, there's a blank underneath, like a big space, right? And then below it says your turn. I'm going to go first, okay? I'm going to show the work up on the board. What do I want you doing during that time? Paying attention, asking questions if you're not sure on something. Afterwards, you're going to leave it blank, right? I'm going to put this work somewhere else, and you're going to solve it. Sound good? And we'll help you out. This is the first one that we're doing, so we'll make sure to help you on these first ones. Okay. So our plan is we're going to do a few problems on the front and back of this page. Then we're going to do a quick exit ticket. I want to see who knows what we're doing here, who might need some extra help to get us to where we need to be 2 thumbs up, right? After that, we will break up into centers to practice this skill. Sound like a plan? Okay. So let's get started. So where should your pencils be in? I'm looking around. I see them. They're all down. All right. So pretend you're baking a cake with your friend. You pour in 2/5 cup of sugar, and your friend pours in 1/3 cup of sugar. How much sugar did you add to the bowl? No. You're welcome. This is kind of an easy problem. Okay. What am I going to be doing? Adding. What keyword told us that? Add. So go ahead and on your paper, let's circle add. So how much do we both add to the bowl is what we need to find, okay? Now what information, should I go back and read how much I put in and how much my friend put in? Okay, so I pour in 2/5 cup of sugar. And your friend pours in how much? 1/3. What should I do with that information? What? I'm not going to rewrite it. What should I do? Maybe circle, maybe underline. Okay. All right, and now while I'm solving this, this is the time where I want our pencils down and I want us looking. There's a few key things I want you to notice about what I'm doing. Okay, so Zach, you can put that down and then take a look. When I add, I like to add vertically. Show me what vertical means. Is it this way or this way? Which one's vertical?
This way.
Up and down. So when I'm going to set up this problem, and again, pencils down right now. Good job, you guys. Thank you. So I'm going to write my fractions 2/5. What operation am I using? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. I'm adding. So I'm adding 1/3. So take a moment and look at how I wrote my fractions. They're vertical. This just, Mr. Weiss and I worked with this with our class last year. It'll help us organize it a little bit better, okay? Now what I need to do, I need to notice if my denominators are the same or different. What do we notice about our denominators? They're different. So I need to find the LCM, or my least common multiple, which is going to give us our denominator, okay? I know, because you know what, you guys are pros at finding the common denominator, so let me show you, okay? So I'm going to take my denominators, which are 5 and 3. And we worked on this skill yesterday. I'm going to find the multiples of 5. Okay, I did an extra, but I think you guys are on the right path. So then we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Let me move that fast. 15. So stop. So we found the lowest multiple that is the same. Malaysia, look up here. So my lowest multiple that's the same is 15. Adam, take a look, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I need to use that 15. I'm going to write it right over here. So 15 and 15. That's going to be my new denominator. Is it the same for both now? Okay. Now I need to figure out how I get from 2/5 to 15. So I know that 5 times 1, 2, 3 gets me 15. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So now what am I going to multiply this number by? 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I need to do the same for this problem. So how do I get from 3 to 15? Times 5. I'm going to pause for a moment. Thank you. Times 5 to the top, because I did that to the bottom, and what do we get? 5. Okay, now do I have common denominators? Okay, let's take a look up at our steps up at the top. So we did number 1, we found the common denominator. We converted the fractions to have the same what? Denominator. Now what do we have to do for step number 3? Who can raise their hand and tell me what I need to do? Nyanda. Add or subtract the numerators. So let's take a look at my numerators. I have, is everybody looking? Point right now to the numerator for this number. 6 plus, point down to this numerator. 5. What is 6 plus 5? 11. Step number 4, what does it say, Caleb? Keep the denominator as 15. So, how much sugar did we use?
11 15
Cups.
sugar.
Cup of sugar. Or 15 of a cup. 8 cups of sugar. Okay. Before we try it on our own, are there any questions? Boys and girls, what did I refer back to help me with what to do next? What could you look at as you're solving this?
The top.
Yeah, the top. Good, JC, I heard you too. You can look at the top to help you with the steps. What I'm going to do now, Mr. Weiss and I are going to walk around. Where it says your turn, you're going to solve this problem now. Got it? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this up here. And go ahead. All right, so start solving. You guys can use up as much space as you need down there. It doesn't have to be underneath your turn.
We're in the 7.
set it up. Because JT had a question as to why we set it up vertically. So let me go back to here really quick. JT had a question as to why we set this up vertically. Can I have everybody's attention up here? Okay. If I had wrote it horizontally, it would be a lot trickier to see this part happening here. I'm very easily able to move across and convert it. Had I written these fractions like this, I would have to convert it down, and then it gets confusing that way, okay? Good question. All right, so everybody should be setting it up right now. 2/5 plus 1/3.
Multiples. You'll use your multiples 5 and 3. What's 5 times 3? 15. So next, you know you never have to go past that number. You might find a smaller denominator sometimes. In this case, it ends up being that. Show your factoring. Show your multiples. But if you just look at two numbers, for example, let's say you have 8 and 12. 8 times 12 will never be bigger than 1 times 12. It's 5 times 12 is kind of smaller one, right? Draw your line here, because this is in addition to these are your two numbers. Draw your line underneath for your addition column. Right? Now, in the future, be careful. You want to move this over further, right? So you use space to convert. So we're going to try to convert the one.
So you're good. Yep. You got it.
15. So we'll do that. Show how we convert those two equivalent fractions. With your multiples to help you out.
Seen a lot of great things here.